James is here with MEDIAWATCH. The FIFA story, of course, high on your agenda. Sepp Blatter, I understand, coming in for a lot of attention online.
Yes, you could put it that way. Even though he's not one of those people who's been arrested, of course the focus is on him because he is the president of FIFA. And the Washington Post really sums it up very nicely. They say that year in, year out, the allegations of corruption and naked greed swirl around FIFA and Sepp Blatter, its longtime president and the man who's long reigned as the most powerful person in sport. And if you're that powerful, then it stands to reason that people expect you to know what's going on within your organisation. So a lot of the focus is on Sepp Blatter. He could be questioned by Swiss police in the weeks to come as these two investigations continue. The fraud, bribery and money laundering accusations go back some 20 years. And this document here is actually the indictment. So 47 charges against 14 different people, and you can see it is quite a document. There is a lot of information there.
That is immense, isn't it?
It is. Now, FIFA very swiftly held a press conference this morning. The Financial Times has homed in on this particular comment made in reference to Sepp Blatter. They said he's not dancing in his office, he's very calm, he is fully cooperative, which seems a strange way to refer to how he's reacting to what is the biggest crisis that FIFA has ever faced. FIFA's Twitter site hasn't been keeping up to date with the goings-on of today. There's been no mention of it whatsoever. This is one of their most recent tweets, wishing happy birthday to various former players. And if we take a look below, lots of comments from people saying, why aren't you commenting on this? One says, ignoring something to make it go away doesn't actually work, right? So
one of them saying, how's Sepp today? Is that right?
Yes. Do you have Twitter in prison and the like?
It's worth pointing out, though, Sepp Blatter, of course, took over FIFA in the late 90s. His predecessor was subject of the same kind of accusations, hints and accusations that Blatter has been subject to for many, many years. No proof, nothing proven, nothing taken to court. Emma, people noting there's a certain irony, perhaps, in that this case has been brought by American investigators.
Yes, one of the cases was brought about by the United States, and there is a good deal of irony in that, and people pointing it out everywhere. Whoever would have thought it would be the Americans who saved the beautiful game? This, supposedly the voice of God on Twitter, says only America could bring the force of impartial justice to FIFA because it's the only country on earth that doesn't care about football. You'll notice lots of people below saying, don't you mean soccer? But it appears that the US does care about what's going on within FIFA and football as a whole, because only yesterday 2 US senators called for Sepp Blatter to stand down, to be made to stand down, because of his support for the Russian bid for 2018. They're saying in the wake of everything that's happened in Ukraine and Putin's annexation of Crimea, that this should not have happened and that this man should not be allowed to retain that position because, of course, there is a presidential election on Friday.
Indeed, that will be interesting if indeed it goes ahead. There must be, I imagine, reaction among the more satirical end of the media.
This story is perfect fodder for anyone who has internet access, a sense of humour or an axe to grind, really.
So and there are a few.
You're seeing plenty of things about this. The New Yorker's cartoon says, loan sharking, extortion and racketeering are fine for now, but someday I'd like to get into soccer.
Two mafia guys, yeah?
Absolutely. Burundi and FIFA officially competing for the most dysfunctional election of 2015. Blatter and Pierre Nkurunziza could be soulmates if they had souls. Of course, Burundi's president has decided to issue electoral law and stand for a third term, kicking off protests.
And he likes football too.
Indeed, he was photographed playing football as there were protests happening in Burundi, streets on fire, he's playing football.
He's playing football, kicking the ball around.
Elsewhere, Michel Platini has said that Sepp Blatter doesn't want to step down because he faces a life of emptiness and he's scared of that. Elsewhere, we've got Gary Lineker, former England player, now a football commentator, says this is extraordinary. FIFA is imploding. The best thing that could possibly happen to the beautiful game, which gives you a real idea of how unpopular Sepp Blatter is among certain footballing types. This tweet came out after Sepp Blatter's statement, which came out earlier this evening, saying he's refused to take any blame and instead issued a statement saying FIFA needs to clean up his act. And this is the front page of Libération tomorrow. FIFA Nostra, of course. You remember the famous Godfather posters. very similar to that.
Indeed, indeed. Maybe someone's made somebody an offer they couldn't refuse. Emma James with MediaWatch, thank you very much indeed. Marcus with The Business, as ever, great to see you, and thank you for joining us. Stay with us, more to come here, live from Paris.